right? We live in this Newtonian age where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, certain things still work that way in the world. However, we also know that time is not linear. And so when we're working with psychedelics, we're really entering that realm where we can bend space and time. So it is absolutely possible to retroactively fit your ketamine experience with the right intention and watch the whole thing turn around. And I honestly would not be saying this if I had not seen it already in my own experience coaching clients that had already started ketamine without the proper preparation. And through the tools that I've brought to our sessions, they've been able to turn that around and really look back on their experience and see the breadcrumbs that were leading them to their best and highest transformation.
Hey there, and welcome to Ketamine Connections. I'm so excited you're here. Maybe you have heard about the incredible healing power of ketamine on a podcast, in a tweet, or even from your cousin's friend who's tried it. Whether you're thinking about this innovative approach for yourself, a loved one, or just curious to learn more about its transformative potential, you probably have a lot of questions. This show is all about exploring that potential by diving into topics like the subconscious mind, sharing amazing client transformation stories, and answering the most common questions I've received while helping hundreds of clients explore and transform their subconscious minds. Just like any good psychedelic journey, our episodes are designed to open your mind, spark your curiosity, and expand your understanding of what's possible. I'm your host, Anna Kristal, aka your ketamine coach, and I'm thrilled to dive in and get curious with you. Let's get started.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Ketamine Connections podcast. My name is Anna Kristal. So happy that you're here joining us on the only podcast in the entire world that speaks directly to your questions, your process, your unfolding on your ketamine journey. So I'm super grateful that you're here. The show is growing, this community is growing, and a lot of these episodes that are coming through right now are a direct result of your questions, which is so exciting for me and so uplifting to know how many questions you have, because it's showing that you really want to put the right effort, the right care into your ketamine journey so that you're getting the most out of it, right? So ketamine isn't just another thing I tried, but rather it is something that, wow, that was like the line in the sand of who I was and who I'm becoming. And that is what is available with the right tools going into your ketamine journey. So if you've decided that you're going into ketamine, or maybe you are still on the fence, or maybe you've already started, this episode is for you, because a lot of you have written in, and I know that this is a common question of not only how do I prepare for ketamine, but when do I prepare for ketamine? Like, do I wait until the week before? Do I wait until the night before? How much preparation? How much preparation is too much? How much preparation is too little? Should I prepare a little? Should I prepare a lot? Should I prepare all day? Should I prepare all night? I don't know. That's what we're going to answer in this episode here today. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you are new to the show and you're like, is preparation even necessary? Yes. Yes. The answer is an astounding, ecstatic, resounding big heck yes. So welcome to the show. And I'm so excited to answer this question for you today. Maybe you've already booked your session, or maybe you're just starting to explore the idea of going into ketamine. Either way, you want to do this right. I know you do, don't you? You don't want to leave it up to chance, wondering if, did I do enough? Or if you're going to have the experience that you want to have that is going to lead to the change that you want to make. And that's why you're here today. Because the truth is, preparation makes all the difference. It's not just about making sure ketamine works. It's about making sure it works for you, right? There's a big difference there. And making sure not only that it works for you, but it works for you in the most meaningful way. And we'll talk more about that in the episode later on, so you get the idea, because the ketamine is always working, but is it working in your desired direction, into your desired outcome? Those are the things that we're going to discuss here today. You know, our society is so focused on the big bang of the ceremony itself. But as you're going to come to hear in this this episode, as you may have already heard throughout different episodes on the podcast, it's not even about what happens in the ceremony. Sure, that is absolutely a part of it, absolutely. But in some traditions, and in what I consider to be true as well, the transformation comes when you enlist, right? Like when you're like, all right, here we go. I'm doing this, right? Like you put down the deposit, you book the spot, whatever it is. That's when the journey begins. And honestly, even sometimes before that, because there's a lot of gold in the consideration. And so if you're here and you're considering, like, wow, I am so grateful and honored to be on this part of your journey. And if you've already put your stuff down, and we'll talk about later in this episode too, of like that it's never too late to prepare for ketamine. So whether you are thinking about doing ketamine, whether you have put down your deposit and you're like, I'm going on this date, or you've already started and you're like, did I prepare correctly? This episode is absolutely for you. And just so you know, I've delivered literally hundreds of ketamine preparation and integration sessions since 2021. And the one thing that I know for sure is that the people who get the most out of your ketamine journey are the people who prepare yourself for that journey. And not just prepare yourself, but prepare your subconscious mind and really prepare, like you prepare the soil that is your subconscious mind. If you think of it this way, if your subconscious mind is soil, right? Just blank soil that is ripe and fertile for whatever you plant, does the soil care if you plant flowers or if you plant vegetables or if you plant something poisonous? No, the soil is going to nourish whatever seeds you sow. And so that's what this episode is really about. Because I'll say it again, the people who get the most out of your ketamine journeys are the people who prepare for your ketamine journey. And I'm so excited to share this information with you today because it's really about taking the time to prepare with intention, to prepare with clarity, and to prepare with a sense of trust in the process. And trust in the process, we've talked about this before, like trust in the process is such an ambiguous term, right? Like what is the process? Just tell me the process and then I can trust in it. I totally get that. If that's you, I totally get that. And that is exactly why I'm so excited that you're here. Because if you're wondering if you're preparing in the right way, or if you've done enough, or if you're, doing it in the right way, you're really not alone. A lot of clinics, most clinics, honestly, are not places that know how to prepare you. Like, sure, they'll tell you to prepare your body physically. And we do have an episode on that. Check out episode 6, where we talk more about like the nitty gritty of preparing for ketamine. But the clinics are not the places that are going to prepare you in the way that this episode is going to show you how to prepare for ketamine. What this episode is really about is teaching you how to prepare your mind so that your journey is optimal for you. And yes, it's important to prepare the body. Absolutely. And, we talk about that in episode 6. This episode takes it a little bit further so that you are also in your mind subconsciously prepared for whatever will happen. And that's where a lot of people miss the mark, unfortunately. So that is what we're diving into today, of this question of when to start preparing, why preparation even matters, and what kind of preparation actually makes a difference so that you can set yourself up for the absolute best experience for you, making sure that the ketamine works in the way that you want it to. And so we'll dive in just a moment, but really quickly, if you have been enjoying these episodes, it would really mean the world to me if you shot us a review, if you left us a rating, a review, wherever you're listening. It really helps us get this out to the right audience. This podcast is growing and you're a part of that. So take time to leave us a review. It means the world. And it really is the best way to say thank you to all of the effort that goes into this show. All right, let's dive in. So why does preparation matter? Because it can be overwhelming, right? Like it can feel so overwhelming to not have a clear roadmap. And that is why I've created this episode for you so that you have a better idea of the timeline, so you don't have to figure this out alone. We're going to walk through exactly what you need to focus on so that you can feel confident, okay? Ketamine is a powerful medicine, but what you bring into it really shapes the experience much more than the ketamine itself, because psychedelics and theogens are non-specific amplifiers. So they amplify whatever is already there, right? So you want to bring the right thing for the ketamine to amplify. And this is not just like oh, I'll just go in with an open mind and an open heart and I'll take it as it comes and I'll see what happens situation. This is preparing for ketamine is an active process that really requires intention. And that's why I am just such an advocate for proper, subconsciously sound ketamine preparation. Because without preparation, people can often feel lost, anxious, or like, maybe you didn't get the experience that you needed from the session. And here's the thing about that, right? If you're not setting an intention, if you're not setting yourself up for the right state mentally for the ketamine, then how can you even judge if you got what you needed, right? It's like, okay, you set your GPS to a random location in the middle of Switzerland and you arrive and you're like, why am I here? And it's not clear. Whereas if you're like, okay, I want to go to the mountains, I want to go to that beautiful prairie field where the sound of music was recorded. And then you get there and you're like, okay, this is it. Or you get somewhere else and you're like, didn't quite make the mark. But you need a mark. And that is what proper ketamine preparation is. It's creating a mark so that the journey unfolds in that direction and you're able to trust the process. You're able to guide the process and you're able to actively participate in the process rather than just being taken for a ride wherever you go. I've talked about this before, that the number one rule of psychedelic use is set and setting. And so what we're talking about here today is the set portion of the ketamine journey, right? So this is your emotional state, your mental state. And that is, again, that is what gets amplified. And so when you're going into ketamine, this is the state that impacts everything that happens. The ketamine opens up this window of neuroplasticity, which makes the ability to change the synaptic connections in your brain. It makes it possible for you to, make changes on a literally cellular level so that you can shift the way that your brain fires and wires together, right? Our brain is running the show. And so if you're opening up this groove, this playground of recreating your brain, but then you're not intentionally setting the new grooves, right? A lot of times in the psychedelic space, we talk about it in the sense of a mountain, like a ski mountain, right? And so the ski mountain that has all these grooves in it from everybody that's gone down on their skis, snowboard, whatever, snowshoes, whatever. And what the psychedelics do, what ketamine does, is that it creates a blanket of snow. And now it's your turn to create a new groove. However, if you're not certain of that and you're like, well, I've always gone that way, I take that tree to the left and that tree to the right, and I go down in this way, and then you're really digging your heels in deeper on the types of patterns and synaptic connections that you don't want. Neuroplasticity means that your brain is more flexible. And so if you are opening up this flexibility, but then reinforcing old things like old anxiety, old worries, old thought patterns, old things, that is not you making the most of ketamine. That is not you taking real, true, extreme advantage of this opportunity that is before you. And on the inverse of that, right, if you go in with clarity, you go in with intention, you feel ready and you are prepared, then those patterns get reinforced as well, instead rather, because what is really cool about ketamine is that, and really any psychedelic, is that you begin to trust your ability to traverse the unknown. You begin to trust your ability to handle anything. And, they say luck favors the prepared. But I really think that luck favors the prepared. I think I messed that one up. The preparedness is where the luck kicks in, right? So those people that are coming out of ketamine and they're having these life-changing experience, it's not that they're lucky, it's that they are prepared. And so that's what is the value and the importance of the preparation phase. And so when you're talking about preparation, the question is, yeah, like how soon should I prepare, right? How soon is too soon? How soon is not too soon? What is the ideal time? My rule of thumb is anywhere from 3 to 10 days before your first session. Now, again, I've already mentioned that a lot of times I believe, and I do see evidence of this out in the world, that the transformation is in the transaction. So as soon as you put in the deposit on your ketamine journey, then the transformation already begins, because as you've already seen, there's a lot there, right? There's a lot that gets you from I heard of ketamine to I'm considering ketamine to, oh my gosh, I'm enrolling in ketamine to, okay, my session is in 3, 7, 8, whatever days. And so that journey has already begun. And then what we do is we put in more intention, we put in more preparation. And that ideal window that I have found is anywhere from 3 to 10 days. You could start sooner. And if you do, that's all good. And what will happen is that you'll have to, you'll get to revisit all of the work that you've done, because 2 weeks, right? When you're looking to make a change, there's different ways to make change. And without the added benefit of the increased neuroplasticity that ketamine offers, you will use repetition to make the change, right? So if you're preparing sooner than, earlier rather than those few days before the ketamine, then it'll take repetition, whereas much more repetition than if you do it just a few days before. And so that's the ideal window. And this gives you plenty of time to clarify your intention, to regulate your nervous system, to even learn what regulating your nervous system is. If you're not even sure what that is, totally fine. I had to learn all this. This is not stuff that we're taught in school. It's not stuff that is in mainstream media. It is absolutely something that you get to learn and use as a tool for yourself. And honestly, let even that change your life, right? Like learning what your nervous system is, learning how to regulate it, and learning how to work with it. We all have different nervous systems based on our ancestral line, based on our childhood programming and experience, based on the society that we live in. It's all different for everyone. Yet the tools to regulate your nervous system there's various, and it really depends on if you need to take your nervous system more up or more down. Either way, these are all things that we cover here on the show, and even more so in the ketamine prep protocol that I have developed to really bridge this gap between, not enough preparation in the ketamine space to really having proper, subconsciously sound, really good preparation. So yeah, that 3 to 10 day window really gives you that time to learn about your nervous system, learn how to prepare, learn how to regulate it, get clear on your intention, make sure that your intention is subconsciously sound, and start creating the space for whatever is going to come up. One of the things that we often say in the psychedelic space is that you get the journey that you need, not the one that you want. And so really creating space for that in your life, not just, mental space to process whatever happens, but also physical space, right? Making sure that you have time in your schedule to process, to integrate, to land from whatever experience you have. And that goes across the board, whether your experience is the highest high that you've ever experienced or the lowest low you've ever experienced, or anywhere in between. Sometimes people feel really distraught that your experience isn't what you thought it would be. All of that requires a landing. It requires space. So that window of time really lets you create that space. And something that I want to mention is that if you have already started ketamine and you're hearing this and you're having an oh crap moment, please don't worry about it. I have worked with clients that have been anywhere from 1 to 3 sessions into their ketamine experience to people that have been 6 to 9 months into working with ketamine regularly, who missed the opportunity to have proper preparation. And through the work that we do, we've been able to really turn that experience into something meaningful, something transformational, and something that is aligned with their desire. Something that I want to remind you of is that my hypnotherapy background allows me to communicate with the subconscious mind in a way that is different, in a way that is unique, and in a way that is more effective. And the other thing that I want to mention is that when we start getting into psychedelic medicine, we are getting out of time and space being linear, right? We live in this Newtonian age where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, certain things still work that way in the world. However, we also know that time is not linear. And so when we're working with psychedelics, we're really entering that realm where we can bend space and time. So it is absolutely possible to retroactively fit your ketamine experience with the right intention and watch the whole thing turn around. And I honestly would not be saying this if I had not seen it already in my own experience coaching clients that had already started ketamine without the proper preparation. And through the tools that I've brought to our sessions, they've been able to turn that around and really look back on their experience and see the breadcrumbs that were leading them to their best and highest transformation. So with that said, I guess the short is that it's never too late to start your ketamine preparation protocol, especially with psychedelics. We're working in this nonlinear way, especially with the fact that intentions have a way of trickling through different parts of your being. And the fact that you can start your preparation too soon before, at the right timing before, or even after you've started. And all of it is serving you. All of it is serving your highest intention and outcome. However, you need to put in the work, right? There's a beautiful quote. I'm going to paraphrase it here. It's from The Alchemist, something along the lines of, when you take one step towards the universe, it takes 1,000 steps towards you. And so, yes, enrolling in ketamine is one step towards the universe. But when you add proper preparation protocol to that step, it's less of a step and more of a leap. And then you leap forward, and then the universe really meets you there to really deliver on your intentions, to deliver on everything that you're working towards. And even if it doesn't look the way that you want it to look, or that you thought it was going to look, well, first, welcome to psychedelic method of healing. It's different, right? You get the trip that you need, not the one that you want. And also, it really helps you develop your trust muscle in a really, really profound way. So with that said, it really never is too soon or too late to start. And if you're hearing this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going into ketamine in a few hours, what do I do? So first things first, hopefully someone has prepared you on the physical preparation. So if not, go back to episode 6. There's a whole list of things to do to prepare yourself physically. Second of all, set an intention for your journey. And third of all, really clear your schedule so that you can be with whatever comes up. So if you don't have time for the full protocol, or maybe you want to jump in and do the full protocol after your first ketamine journey, like I said, it's never too late to set an intention to really get that proper preparation. But if you're like, hey, this is happening now, I'm on my way to the clinic right now listening to this episode, then it's all good. Just take a few breaths, clear your mind, clear your body, set an intention, and move forward. You got this. Okay, so now we get into, what does ketamine preparation look like, right? What does the proper preparation look like? And this is where we get into a few different segments of it, right? So we have the mental and emotional preparation. The mental and emotional preparation, as I mentioned earlier, it is the set part of set and setting. This is the number one rule for psychedelics. Which one? It's both. Set and setting are both the number one rule. So just so we're clear there. And since your setting is taken care of by the clinic, then it's really on you to work on the set. And again, in episode 6, I talk about ways to really work with the clinic. And there's another episode, how to vet ketamine clinics. Check that episode out as well. That is an episode that really helps you understand different elements that different ketamine clinics have, ways to work with those with whatever the ketamine clinic has, and also bring your own touch and your own flair to the experience so that you are most comfortable for the journey. But what we're talking about here is the set portion. The thing that I want to say is that whatever is coming up for you leading up to the journey is totally normal. Is anxiety normal? Yes. Is excitement normal? Yes. Is fear normal? Yes. Is complete numbness and just like dissociation normal? Yes. All of it is normal. Physiologically in the body, anxiety and excitement register the same. So if you're having something that registers to you as anxiety, and maybe you're familiar with anxiety like I am, and you're thinking, oh, hello, old friend anxiety. There's my heart rate. There's the sweaty palms. There's the, narrow focus of my vision. Can you take a moment to reframe that as, oh, I'm excited. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And I know that I'm prepared to handle whatever happens. And this is the start of me reprogramming my subconscious mind. This is the start of me changing my brain and moving into new synaptic connections, right? And if the answer is no, don't worry about it. Anxiety is totally normal. And if you can't reframe your anxiety in that way, then can you at least welcome it in and like have it sit next to you like an old friend, because it likely is an old friend. And can you just be with it, right? Can you welcome it in and know that it's completely normal? It doesn't mean that anything is wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not ready. It just means that your brain is doing what it always does. It's dealing with an unknown situation with an uptick of trying to answer questions that it cannot have the answers to until it is actually in that process, until it is actually in that mode of dealing with the situation. Your brain is working to keep you safe, and learning how to work with an anxious brain is the key rather than trying to work against it. And, honestly, just by listening to this episode, I will say that you are already light years ahead of most people going into their ketamine journeys. And especially if you've listened to more than one episode of this podcast, you are even light years ahead of that, because the topics that we cover on this podcast are topics that are not often spoken about. They are topics that most clinics don't know how to educate on. And they're also questions that you're asking. I know that because I'm getting your questions. And also I've been doing this work since 2021. And so it's really good for you to welcome the anxiety in. I mean, what would it be like to just be with it, right? And welcome it in and know that it might be a good nervous energy. It might be a useful nervous energy. Okay. What about the physical preparation? Again, we talk more about that in episode 6. So go back there. But just to give you the bare bones sort of summary of it, you want to reduce your stimulants, right? So caffeine, alcohol. The clinic staff would have already talked to you about any medications that you need to adjust or anything that you need to do for any substances that you're on. You definitely want to prioritize sleep. You want to prioritize hydration. You want to limit your hydration intake in the 3 to 5 hours leading up to the ketamine. And you want to be in a fasting state. So no food about 3 hours before. Some people choose to not eat up to 8 hours before, depending on how your stomach is. And in the days leading up to ketamine, you do want to eat more nourishing and grounding foods, because that's going to help you feel safer in your body. And it's also going to give your cells more juice to work with whatever the ketamine brings up. And then for environmental and logistical prep, again, we talk more about that in other episodes of how to prepare your space, what trinkets to bring with you to ketamine so that you're feeling really good. Most of that is covered in episode 6. Some of that is covered in the episode of how to vet the ketamine clinics. And you obviously want to plan for a ride home. The clinic would have already told you this. And you want to choose that ride home wisely. If you haven't listened to episode 28, we go through the details of that, of, whether to have someone in the room with you or not, but also how to choose the right person that is going to be the best ride for you, and even why that matters. All of that is in episode 28. We really, really get into it there. You want to clear your schedule the day of ketamine. And if you can't clear it for the full day, you definitely want to clear it for after the ketamine, right? You can work up to that, but just know that that is already a really tender time. And it is possible and likely that whatever you experience in the day leading up to your ketamine session is going to influence influence how the ketamine goes. So the lighter and the more chill and the more grounded you can be in the hours leading up to ketamine, the clearer you go into the experience with. And the time after your journey is the time to land and integrate and just be with whatever comes up, right? I always tell clients, plan to take the rest of the day off, plan for an extended nap. And if something else happens and you're able to operate in a different way, that is a beautiful bonus. It is a nice little cherry on top of the cake, but don't make it an expectation. And you also want to lean into community, because the thing is, even though psychedelics are growing really fast, most people don't know what you're going into or what you're coming out of. So if you can have people around you that you can talk to that are willing to listen with a very curious ear, people that are non-judgmental, people that are more open-minded. And that is something that is really, really important, because it is whatever happens for you in the ketamine journey it's like a precious little baby bird, and you want to hold that baby bird and you want to show it to the right person, and you want that person to look at that baby bird and say, wow, look at that baby bird, right? Not whatever else, not why are you holding this, or what is that in your hands, or where did you get that? Just okay, yeah, I see that baby bird in your hands and it's really beautiful. And thank you for sharing your baby bird with me. And if you don't have community like that, please reach out to us. We are in the process of building this community so that everyone has someone to talk to, so that you feel supported and you feel really lit up to share your process, to share your journeys, and to normalize these supernatural experiences. And I always talk about, it's very common for people to come out of ketamine and go, okay, I saw this thing. What does it mean? Or I experienced this. What does it mean? And what I like to say is that, when you're fresh out of ketamine, note it down, whether it's a voice note on your phone or whether it's a journaling or however you want to note it down, definitely note it down, because it's nice to have those reminders. And what you also want to do is think of it as like a gathering phase, right? You're gathering your ingredients and you're going to make the meal later. Okay. So think of it as not something that needs to make sense right away. And if you're curious about that process of making sense of your journey and bringing it into your life, that is called integration. And we have many more episodes coming up on this show. Make sure that you follow it wherever you are so that you never miss an episode. We always launch episodes on Wednesdays, just so you know. And we have lots of episodes coming up. We're actually bringing on people who work in ketamine integration so that we can get a lot of different voices on the show to talk about different modalities for integrating, different ways of integrating, and really getting this, giving you the full scope of the picture of your ketamine journey, from, consideration to booking it, to going to it, to making sense of it, and then to integrating it. So definitely stay tuned on the show. And if there's something that you're curious about, write us, right? All of my links are in the show notes, and you're welcome to send us fan mail. That's not something we can respond to, but if you have questions in there that you just want featured on the show, we do read the fan mail, and we love getting fan mail. We also love getting emails, and we would love to answer your question, as we already have come to do. A few episodes already on the show have been client questions, and that is just so fun for us. Okay. And here's the thing. So we've been talking about different modes of preparation, right? Preparing your set, preparing your setting, preparing your physical body, preparing your mind, preparing your subconscious mind, preparing your intention, all of these things. And if you're sitting here feeling like, okay, how do I put all these pieces together? How do I find a simple and guided preparation protocol that is going to really take me through this process? And if you're wondering that, hi, I'm so happy that you're wondering that. And that is exactly why I created the ketamine preparation protocol. The ketamine preparation protocol takes the guesswork out of preparation so that you're not scrambling, wondering if I did this right or if I did enough. So the ketamine preparation protocol really takes you through the whole journey of preparing for ketamine and really has you ticking all the boxes in a way that is orderly, in a way that is guided, and in a way that makes sure that you go into ketamine feeling clear, feeling confident, feeling prepared, and feeling like yeah, I got this. So it's a step-by-step system that I've developed that comes from me delivering hundreds of client sessions since 2021. And through that time of me delivering so many sessions, I've really noticed that there's an arc to preparation. There's an arc and there's an art. And that is what I have put into this guided plan. If you're feeling like you want to get really serious about preparation, but you're not sure where to start, this is exactly for you. It's not about making things perfect. I'm going to be absolutely clear about that. All of my recovering perfectionists, just like me, it's not about perfection. It's about feeling calm. It's about feeling supported. And it's about feeling like, yes, I am ready for this. And if that is you and you want to hop in, our first round of this is launching literally this month. It's going to be a live round. It's going to be a beta round. You're going to get more direct access to me than ever before. You're getting it at a discount because it's our first time doing this. And I'm just so excited to get real life feedback of what is it like to have this kind of preparation in a group setting rather than in a one-on-one setting. I absolutely know that this process is effective in a one-on-one setting. I've done it hundreds of times. But what is it like to do it in a group setting? My inkling is that it's going to be even more powerful because there's going to be questions that you haven't even thought of that your friends on the call are going to ask. There's going to be things that you haven't even considered that are going to teach you about your process, and you're going to come away with it with a really, really rich experience. And it's available for wherever you are in your ketamine journey. So if you're thinking about ketamine, you've already booked ketamine, or you've already started ketamine, this is absolutely the right program for you. Like I said before, the psychedelic space works in different time ways. And this is effective for any change that you want to make in your life. This is really something that even if you don't end up doing ketamine, this is something that is going to serve you to draw that line in the sand from who you are today or who you are going into ketamine prep protocol and who you are coming out of it. It is a way to talk directly to your subconscious mind. It is a way to learn about your subconscious mind so that you can talk directly to it. And it is something that is literally, a decade now of work that is synthesized into this 3-part series that I am beyond excited. I am so lit up. I am floating away like a pack of balloons that is just so elated to finally offer this. This makes ketamine preparation more accessible. It makes it more fun. It makes it more clear, and it brings it right to you. So the link to join Ketamine Prep Protocol, KPP, is in the show notes. We'd love to have you in there. The first live beta round is happening this month, so please get in there. Again, this is my little brain. This is my little baby bird that I'm bringing to you. So I'm so excited to have you in there. Okay, let's talk. Let's close this thing out. All right. So preparation is not the extra to ketamine. It is the foundation. It is the groundwork for everything that you experience in the ketamine, how you feel about the ketamine going into it, coming out of it, how you look back on it, literally all of it. It is the way ketamine preparation is the way to take ketamine from just another thing I tried to ketamine changed my life. It is a way to make it the absolute best, most transformative experience for you. And whether you have, a month to prepare, 2 days to prepare, 2 hours to prepare, whatever it is, how you prepare matters. And it is the priming. It is the absolute thing that you go into. And I will preach that. I will be on that soapbox forever, truly. But you're already sold on that. So let me just wrap up this episode so we can all get on with our day. So let's go over the key takeaways. Ketamine is not a passive experience. It is what you bring into the ketamine that shapes what you get out of it, right? That neuroplasticity. You want to create new synaptic connections, new neural pathways, not just out of habit, just out of patterning, just out of whatever, go into the old ones. The best time to start preparing for ketamine is ideally 3 to 10 days before. But if you want to start earlier, or if you've already started and you want to go back and retroactively prep, that is A-okay by me. It is never too late to start preparing for ketamine. When we talk about ketamine preparation, we are talking about mental prep, emotional prep, physical prep. All of these matter. everything from the 3D to the 5D to the 12D, all dimensions you want to prepare for your ketamine journey. You want to set clear intentions. You want to reduce stimulants. You want to get the best ride home. And every single one of these puzzle pieces plays a role in your experience. And whatever you're feeling leading up to ketamine is absolutely normal. If you're feeling anxious, excited, joyous, uplifted, not that. Whatever it is, it doesn't mean that something's wrong. It means that your brain is working to keep you safe and make sense of an experience that it hasn't experienced yet. How do you do that without anxiety? I don't know. The key to working with the anxiety or whatever you're feeling, the key is to work with it, not against it. Okay. Welcome it in, all things that we work on in the ketamine prep protocol. And unfortunately, I hate to even say this, but most clinics are not offering this kind of preparation. A lot of therapists that are working in the space that are recommended by clinics don't have psychedelic experience in their own. So that is why I've created ketamine preparation protocol. Is from a decade worth of work working with the subconscious mind. It is from delivering hundreds of ketamine preparation and integration sessions since 2021. And it's really here to support you so that you don't have to figure this out on your own and then look back and wonder, did I do it right? It is all here for you. And I'm so excited that you found us and that you are here to come on the journey with us. And if you're feeling ready to feel calm, clear, confident going into your ketamine sessions, join Ketamine Prep Protocol, KPP. Join the beta round because I have a feeling that that's going to be extra fun. I know I'm ready and prepared to have extra fun. And you'll get a live audience. You'll get a step-by-step system. You'll get all of your questions answered live time by me. And you'll get to connect with a community so that when you have that little baby bird in your hands and you're like, hey, will you look at my baby bird? And your friends will say, wow, bird. I hope you heard that. I whispered. I said, wow, that's a beautiful baby bird. I never know what the mic picks up. Anyways, the link to join KPP is in the show notes. And if this episode was even like 1% helpful or insightful for you, send it to a friend, right? Sharing is caring. Send it to a friend who's considering ketamine, who's already in ketamine therapy, whatever. Just share to show that you care. Healing is a lot more powerful when we share it because we are tribal beings. We are hardwired for connection, and things are more powerful when they're done in community, and it'll give you and your friends something fun to talk about. So that is all for this week on Ketamine Connections. Thank you for joining. I will see you next week. We have a really fun guest interview episode happening next week. It's going to be a good one. So make sure you subscribe, leave a rating, whatever you do in life, just stay curious. My name is Anna Kristal. I'm so happy you're here. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Ketamine Connections. I hope you found our discussion insightful and empowering. Remember that understanding the subconscious mind and how to make the most of ketamine therapy can truly transform someone's healing journey. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to share it with your friends and family and anyone who might benefit from this information. So few people considering ketamine therapy are fully educated about its potential and the impact that it has on the subconscious mind. Your share could be the key element to their transformation. Don't forget to subscribe to Ketamine Connections so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I absolutely adore reading your reviews. So your feedback really helps me feel like this is an engaging exercise. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm talking into empty internet space. So your review really helps light me up and also helps me reach more audience. So I would appreciate one if you're willing. And please use the link below to submit any questions or topics that you would like covered. I cannot wait to hear from you and to co-create this journey together. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and embrace the possibilities that are available in this moment right here, right now. Thanks so much. See you next time on Ketamine Connections.